Hey, T-Sippers. Hey, T-Sippers. Now let me pull this up. Oh, he mad. Oh, he's mad. Yeah, he didn't get his way. And now now he going off on The View. The View whole weight. Huh? Hey, Max to the boogie. Hey, Max to the boogie. What it do, sweet precious? What it do? Oh, yeah. I hope this is really the beginning of, what's that song when it all come crumbling down? Yeah, we choose freedom of speech over you. Hey, Willie Spencer. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian Bailey. Thank you, Max, for the jewels. She sent me some jewels. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel. We'll be back tomorrow. In spite of something went wrong. Whatever Trump thought he had going on. It's time to shut him down now. He been playing too long. He been running shit too long. And he really beginning to, go too far. You know what I mean? And then he sit up there and made a mockery out of that young man's memorial yesterday. Hey, rap snacks made a whole mockery out of it. Sitting up there, I cannot with him. What is this? 2 people have been criminally charged, accused of locking 6 children in a Milwaukee storage unit. Oh, wow. That is so sad. Yeah, got all up there talking crazy, talking about Charlie believed in loving thy enemy, or, forget. He said he hate his ops. But he want to tell somebody they don't have the right to free speech, but you sit up there and say stupid stuff like that. Where y'all find this clown? Oh, he's a clown. Oh my God. Somebody done got him some better makeup and he think he can just say anything he wants to say. You know what I mean? But a shout out to Jimmy Kimmel. He's coming back. Now he talking about, can't wait to see what Kimmel will say. Yeah, I'm sure he is going to be probably refined. I can't see him. I mean, he needs to come back the way he left. Honest and with free speech. All them cancellations, I mean, let's just keep it real. They said, they waited for The View, and I'm wondering what type of pull The View have. Yeah. What you mean? That they threatened to boycott? I mean, what? I'm sure they not gonna say, but he couldn't wait to attack Whoopi, since she was the voice that came out and said, what? You thought we was gonna be quiet? You remember when Kirk Franklin came out saying, y'all think gospel has went too far? Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. GP, are you with me? The View said what? Y'all thought we wasn't gonna have nothing to say? Is that what y'all thought? They said shit. Yeah. I said, well, what? Okay, Whoopi. Is it like that? What's really happening? Jimmy Kimmel will return. And they said Whoopi Goldberg and The View had much to say. And that so much so that Tippy told, did y'all see them them Prince ass shoes he had on at he had on some Prince Hill or some pointed toe shoes with hey reflections. Hey Jen. He had on some Wizard of Oz Dorothy shoes. They were pointed toe with a little Prince Hill on them. I said, what the what?
At first, they come with a.
So now he wearing heels.
Did y'all?
Let's watch The View. I'm gonna show y'all them heels. I saw that and I hollered. He had on heels. He had on heels today. The View. It was interesting to me. I'm gonna have to do some research. Why did The View voice their opinion? And it appears that after The View voiced their opinion, they came back. NBC said, well, after a careful consideration. Because if y'all let him get away with it one time, he gonna try it and push it to get away with it again. People like him, you gotta stop. Well, shout out to Whoopi.
Really think we weren't gonna talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons?
Jimmy Kimmel's late night
she
show.
She said, did y'all really think?
Gonna talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons?
Jimmy Kimmel's late night show, Jimmy Kimmel Live, is returning to air. On September 22nd, the Walt Disney Company announced in a statement that after having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, the decision was reached to bring back the show on Tuesday, elaborating, last Wednesday,
has called Joy Reid to lose her job.
To avoid further inflaming a tense situation and an emotional moment for our country. It is a decision we made because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday. The news comes the same day the co-hosts of The View, which include Whoopi Goldberg, Sarah Hines, Sunny Houston, Anna Navarro, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, broke their silence on the show being preempted following
I didn't know Joy was gone.
About the man accused of shooting Charlie Kirk. ABC had initially announced the previously called indefinite suspension last week, hours after the Federal Communications Commission's chair, Brendan Carr, threatened to, quote, take action against the network and its parent company, Disney, according to NBC News. While many celebrities and other comedians spoke out following the suspension news, viewers noticed that The View, which airs on ABC, did not comment. However, on Monday, Whoopi addressed the audience, explaining their initial silence.
Did y'all really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I mean, have you watched the show over the last 29 seasons? Yes. So no one silences us. And to all my friends in Italy who reached out, you have to know it's okay. We're still here. We're still broadcasting. And when the news broke last week about Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, we took a breath to see if Jimmy was going to say anything about it first.
400 comedians signed a petition.
Colbert.
Good for them.
Our show was on tape on
Good for them. Good for them. I mean, and then how dare Trump go to his memorial, get up there, talk about him with them two little ass shoes on, and then get up there and say some of the craziest crap. And if anybody should have been silenced or freedom of speech should have been taken, it should have been his. Until somebody shut him up, we gonna talk. Until somebody censored the it almost came out, didn't it? Censor what comes out of his mouth. I mean, you think that you can say whatever you want to. And when somebody don't agree with, I don't even know what to call you with them shoes I saw you on. I mean, I said, he wearing heels now? He can't walk one. I guess them Buster Brown ass shoes. You know, since he can't walk in a straight line and all that crazy stuff. What is going on? You bent all forward? Did you lose some height or something? What was that? I fell out laughing. No, until you shut up, we gonna continue because we gotta come back on you. Yeah, and if you don't like it, resign from your position. How about that? Yes, please hit the like button. Please. Absolutely.
But we are live here today.
I am glad they stood up for Jimmy Kimmel. Because this was about to be bad. Bad. Enough is enough. Release the Epstein files. Let me repeat. Focus on that. That's where we need your attention. Not what's being said on TV. Didn't you leave The Apprentice? Yeah, you're fired. Didn't that get canceled? Cause you had no talent? Why you trying to say everybody don't have no talent? Foolishness. You don't have no talent. Yeah, you can't even talk straight. Nor walk straight. So yeah. Until they zip your lips, we gonna talk. Let's go.
Took a breath to see if Jimmy was going to say anything about it first. We did the same thing with...
Oh, I'm sorry. With who?
Stephen Colbert. Then our show was on tape on Friday. But we are live here today.
Yeah.
And
revoke him. Until then, we gonna talk.
We're getting into it now.
The EGOT winner then stressed that the government cannot, quote, apply pressure to force someone to be silenced. She then noted that politicians on both sides of the aisle agree as they played a montage from Republican Senators Rand Paul and Ted Cruz, as well as Democratic Senator Chris Murphy, criticizing the FCC commissioner's comments.
Do you believe that Brendan Carr's comments were appropriate?
Absolutely inappropriate. The government's got no business in it, and the FCC was wrong to weigh in, and I'll fight any attempt by the government to get involved with speech. I will fight.
We are quickly turning into a banana republic. The President of the United States
a banana republic.
The full power of the federal government, the FCC, the Department of Justice,
a whole banana.
In order to punish, lock up, take down off the air all of his political enemies. I think what Brendan Carr has done at the FCC is illegal and unconstitutional.
He says, we can do this the easy way, but we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafia.
We don't want to talk about you, sir.
Nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. I like Brendan Carr, but we should not be in this business. We should denounce it.
Sonny, who is an attorney, also spoke about the protections of the First Amendment. Anna then chimed in, sharing how she lived under both a right-wing and left-wing dictatorship in Nicaragua, and censorship is part of their ideologies.
Look, I have to tell you this. I lived through a right-wing dictatorship and...
Okay, I need for y'all to double tap the screen. Double tap it, the face of your phone, or hit the 3 dots at the top. The top right. Come on, y'all. Let's not start that tonight. I'm already late. And I got some other stuff I need to talk about. Because Baron James tried to get at, I guess he gonna be the I guess they finna size him up to replace Charlie Kirk. He tried to get at Jasmine Crockett. Baby. That didn't go well. That didn't go well. At all. Ooh. Definitely want to talk about that one. Hit the like button. Come on, y'all. He tried to go at Jasmine.
But we should not be in this business. We should denounce it.
Sonny, who is an attorney, also spoke about the protections of the First Amendment. Anna then chimed in, sharing how she lived under both a right-wing and left-wing dictatorship in Nicaragua, and censorship is part of their ideologies.
Look, I have to tell you this. I lived through a right-wing dictatorship in Nicaragua, Somoza. I lived through a left-wing dictatorship in Nicaragua under Ortega. This is what dictators and authoritarians do. It does not matter the ideology. At first, they come for the people with big platforms. At first, they silence the press, but then they come for all of us because their intent is to scare us into silence and self-censorship. And look at the things that this government has done. They kicked the AP out of the Oval Office for not saying Gulf of America. They cut the funding of NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. They are demanding reporters sign a pledge that reporters will only report on what the Pentagon wants them to report on. That is not how the First Amendment works.
Alyssa and Sarah also addressed the topic, with Alyssa warning how cracking down on free speech could set a precedent.
What made me a conservative was the idea that in all the systems of government that have existed in human history, as imperfect as ours is, the Constitution gets it pretty damn right. Sure. Yeah. The First Amendment is the first for a reason because you need to be able to hold those in power accountable. And what Ted Cruz later says in an interview that I think is an incredibly important point, the pendulum swings in this country. Yeah. Donald Trump is not going to be in power for 100 years. It may feel that way to a lot of people right now. There will be a time that the left is back in power. And I think the same conservatives who are backing this position, this crackdown on free speech, do not want a left-wing president policing what can be said on TV, how you can criticize your government. So think, if it's not about anything specific someone said, think about the precedent it sets down the road.
ABC's decision last week also came after Nexstar Media Group, who is waiting on FCC approval for a $6.2 billion acquisition of Tegna per NBC News, announced that they would preempt the talk show on their ABC affiliates for, quote, the foreseeable future. Sinclair Broadcast Group also chimed in, saying they too are indefinitely preempting the show, adding that they would not lift the suspension until talks with ABC are held, quote, regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also called on the comedian to issue an apology to the Kirk
that have existed in human history. As imperfect as ours is, the Constitution gets it pretty damn right. Sure. Yeah. The First Amendment is the first.
Yeah, and that's why they're trying to alter the Constitution
later
and say that it's interpretation of it, so that he can do an extra term. He's trying to alter it. Yeah, he's trying to make it work for
Alyssa
him.
And Sarah also addressed the topic, with Alyssa warning how cracking down on free speech could set a precedent.
What made me a conservative was the idea that in all the systems of government that have existed in human history, as imperfect as ours is, the Constitution gets it pretty damn right. Sure. Yeah. The First Amendment is the first for a reason because you need to be able to hold those in power accountable. And what Ted Cruz later says in an interview that I think is an incredibly important point, the pendulum swings in this country. Yeah. Donald Trump is not going to be in power for 100 years. It may feel that way to a lot of people right now. There will be a time that the left is back in power. And I think the same conservatives who are backing this position, this crackdown on free speech, do not want a left-wing president policing what can be said on TV, how you can criticize your government. So think, if it's not about anything specific someone said, think about the precedent it sets down the road.
ABC's decision last week also came after Nexstar Media Group, who is waiting on FCC approval for a $6.2 billion acquisition of Tegna per NBC News, announced that they would preempt the talk show on their ABC affiliates for, quote, the foreseeable future. Sinclair Broadcast Group also chimed in, saying they too are indefinitely preempting the show, adding that they would not lift the suspension until talks with ABC are held, quote, regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also called on the comedian to issue an apology to the Kirk family and make a donation to both the family and Turning Point USA. Access Hollywood previously reached out to representatives of Kimmel, but did not hear back by time of publishing.
Shout out to Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, shout out to ABC, The View, everybody who is standing up to Trump and our freedom of speech. Again, I say, if he has the right to say whatever it is that he wants to, insulting and all, racist and all, then we have the right to say what we want to say. Yeah.
At first, they come with for the people with big platforms. At first, they silence the press.
Right.
But then they come for all of us because their intent is to scare us into silence and self-censorship. And look at the things that this government has done. They kicked the AP out of the Oval Office for not saying Gulf of America. They cut the funding of NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Yeah.
They are demanding reporters sign a pledge that reporters will only report on what the Pentagon wants them to report on. That is not how the First Amendment works.
And how disrespectful of him to think that that's how it's going to be.
What made me a conservative was the idea that in all the systems of government that have existed in human history, as imperfect as ours is, the Constitution gets it pretty damn right. The First Amendment is the first for a reason because you need to be able to hold those in power accountable. And what Ted Cruz later says in an interview that I think is an incredibly important point, the pendulum swings in this country. Donald Trump is not going to be in power for 100 years. It may feel that way to a lot of people right now. There will be a time that the left is back in power. And I think the same conservatives who are backing this position, this crackdown on free speech, do not want a left-wing president policing what can be said on TV, how you can criticize your government. So think, if it's not about anything specific someone said, think about the precedent it sets down the road.
Now he calling the View loser. Old ladies.
Approval for a $6.2 billion acquisition of Tegna per NBC News announced that they would preempt the talk show on their ABC affiliates for, quote, the foreseeable future. Sinclair Broadcast Group also chimed in, saying they too are indefinitely preempting the show, adding that they would not lift the suspension until talks with ABC are held, quote, regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. Sinclair also called on the comedian to issue an apology to the Kirk family and make a donation to both the family and
should he have to give an apology and send a donation? I don't think so. For what? What he said really was about Trump. Trump owes the Kirk family an apology. When someone asked about, how he's feeling, how he's doing, once was kissing his ass. Go to jail with him too. Yeah. He's the one who's been disrespectful and then get up there and start talking about that crazy stuff, and he hate his enemies or his competitors. That is crazy. I mean, I think he kind of hated his too, but it's neither here nor there. Just don't you find yourself in his widow white bed. That's what you do.
USA. Access Hollywood previously reached out to representatives of Kimmel, but did not hear back by
I was
time of
supposed to say that. Hold on, let's see what's next. Y'all know he will, and be asking her to do it in order, in memory of Charlie. That's what he would want you to do. He trifling like that. Let me see, what was the other one? Oh, I can't wait to get to his son.
It feels that ABC have
announced that Jimmy Kimmel Live will return to our air tomorrow. Last week,
The company, you may remember, pulled the late night talk show after pressure from the FCC about comments that he made about conservative influencer Charlie Kirk's.
Disney is bringing him back on the air tomorrow.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Well, look at that. It appears
Ooh,
that
that's
ABC
gonna hurt. Y'all
has
see that?
reversed
What
course.
you shocked
I wonder
for?
what had them change their tune?
What you shocked for?
From the FCC about comments that he made about conservative influencer Charlie Kirk's.
Disney is bringing him back on the air tomorrow.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Well, look at that.
Hurt
It
your
appears
feelings.
that ABC have reversed course. I wonder
Bring
what
us
had
some
them
Epstein files.
their tune.
Hulu is so desperate to keep people from canceling that they are offering a discount when you go to cancel.
So many people.
Oh, yeah, that cancel was no joke.
And Disney Plus subscription that the site is literally crashing.
As a parent, do you know how excited I am to never have to give Disney another dime of my money? Like,
Hulu too.
We will not be silenced. We will not be intimidated. And we will not stop fighting until we defeat fascism in this country.
Woo! That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Where you spend your money matters. Kimmel Live set to come back tomorrow after being suspended last week, proving that despite the desperate effort from the Trump administration to control the narrative, the people have made themselves heard. ABC officially announced that after, quote, thoughtful conversations with Kimmel, they will reinstate the show.
Disney is bringing him back on the air tomorrow. ABC says in a statement that we made the decision last week to suspend production to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment. But now, after having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, the ABC says we reached the decision
Do y'all
to
think he
return the
owed
show on Tuesday.
the Kirk family an apology? He just need to get back to work.
That is significant, especially given that some of the players outside of Disney in a corporate setting, like Nexstar and Sinclair, they essentially have deals that allowed them to preempt his show, and that's part of the reason that it was suspended. Yeah. Do we know how they might react to this?
We don't, and that becomes the big question now. Will these local station affiliates choose to air Jimmy Kimmel Live, or will they
can they
continue to
sue
protest
them?
The comedian, even though the network is bringing him back nationwide? ABC does gently chastise Kimmel in this statement. The statement says, quote, the decision to suspend him, we made it because we felt some of the comments were ill-timed and thus insensitive. So they're very gently
What he said the most was about Trump.
I don't need no sticky crackers.
Not giving a
Hey, my name is Mark Cuban, and
a care. Oh Lord, what I just do? Hold on. That's who was insensitive.
But obviously, they're bringing it back as of tomorrow.
Now, the move follows intense backlash from entertainers, media unions, civil liberty groups, and large public protests both in Hollywood and across the country. And if there's one person this is bound to annoy more than that one dude you know on Twitter with the profile picture extra close on his Under Armour sunglasses, it's Donald Trump, who championed this suspension. He celebrated ABC's decision to muzzle one of their most notable hosts, all while using the moment to rail against other late-night hosts, basically warning them that they could be next.
He also said at one point, Phil, that he basically believes broadcasters and that regulators should consider taking broadcasters' licenses away if they have late-night hosts on their programs who criticize him. Listen to what he told reporters just a few moments ago.
When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do.
So it was about Trump.
You go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative on in years or something.
So it wasn't about Charlie. It was about Trump, as we suspected, like we said. He cannot stand anyone to criticize him or make fun of him. That's exactly what his niece said. It goes back to the mashed potatoes. When he was a kid and he would have a temper tantrum because somebody at the table clowned him about mashed potatoes. She says all these insecurities and being laughed at goes back to the dinner table as a kid about mashed potatoes. Can you believe that? Boy, eat the mashed potatoes. You better open your mouth and eat them, and eat all of them. and shut up before you go take a nap. he acting like a kid. Ain't that how you have to talk to kids? Y'all hit the like button. She said it's about mashed potatoes. Yeah, he better be glad I don't know him, because I would laugh at him all the time and call him mashed potato head. Go eat them mashed potatoes. Yay, right, freedom of speech, and eat your mashed potatoes. Yeah.
They haven't had a conservative more than years or something, somebody said. But when you go back and take a look, all they do is hit Trump. When you have a network and you have evening shows and all they do is hit Trump, that's all they do. If you go back, I guess they haven't had a conservative more than years or something, somebody said. But when you go back,
mashed potato.
All they do is hit Trump. They're licensed. They're not allowed.
He was humiliated behind mashed potato.
This new cover of the New Yorker came out. It's a tiny hand in a big suit holding a TV remote.
Now, while nobody thinks this is down to it,
hours ago, this new cover of the New Yorker came out. It's a tiny hand in a big suit.
Tiny hand.
Holding a TV remote.
Now, while nobody thinks this is down to anything other than their bottom line being threatened, the reinstatement does send a message that I think will galvanize those adamant in their fight against this authoritarian regime. Public outcry, outrage, protests, industry condemnation, it still matters, right? It suggests that pressure from citizens, artists, and media doesn't always yield to authoritarian impulses. And in itself, it's kind of a check on power.
Tell us what you think about what happened last night to Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, this is misery. And in the world of somebody who's an authoritarian, maybe a dictatorship, sooner or later, everyone is going to be touched. But this is me. For 30 years, I did this for a living. So I see this happen. They took care of Colbert. That was rude. That was inexcusable. The man deserves a great deal of credit. He's in the Hall of Fame 9 times. And to be manipulated like that because the Ellison family didn't want to trouble Donald Trump with this move, so they got rid of him. Not only got rid of him, got rid of the whole franchise. You're not going to have to worry about anything, Larry. It's all gone. It's fine. Good night. And then my good friend Jimmy Kimmel. I feel bad about this because we all see where this is going, correct? It's managed media, and it's no good. It's silly, it's ridiculous, and you can't go around firing somebody because you're fearful or trying to suck up to an authoritarian, criminal administration in the Oval Office. That's just not how this works.
Something I want to say to any of the business leaders who are being dragged across one red line after the other, who are going along with it because they think it's going to help them or because they think it will get the Trump administration off their back. You need to understand that this is a one-way trip, that sooner or later, if you play this game, you will have even less room for maneuver in the future. They didn't stop at the law firms. They didn't stop at the universities. They didn't even stop at the comedians. They are not going to stop until they have total power. And if you try to ride this tiger as a business or organizational leader, sooner or later, it will eat you.
And not just in Hollywood, right? But from the ACLU to unions and even ABC affiliates, they make themselves heard in the face of retaliation, not just from employers, but from this administration.
One day, the history of the time we're living through is going to be written. And when it is, I'm not sure it's those in this administration who are even going to come off the worst. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to come off terribly. But history is also going to remember the cowards who definitely knew better, but still let things happen, whether it was for money, convenience, or just comfort. And I know this is something of a tough sell, and it can be a bit of anathema to risk-averse business leaders. But I will say this, if we've learned nothing else from this administration's second term so far, and I don't think we have, it's that giving the bully your lunch money doesn't make him go away. It just makes him come back hungrier each time. They are never going to stop. They've literally said that openly. After Kimmel's suspension, Trump posted, that leaves Jimmy and Seth, two total losers, on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC.
Now, the reinstatement also undercuts the idea that Kimmel's show was only under threat because of ratings, when it couldn't be further from the truth. It just reiterates that it was a political decision. And the very same self-professed bastions of free speech were cheering on censorship. In fact, they're inviting it. But ABC reversing course shows that advocacy works. More broadly, this should signal to other media companies that bending the knee to this administration, well, it has public consequences.
The big story is that Jimmy Kimmel was suspended by ABC after pressure from the FCC, leaving everyone thinking WTF.
What the?
This morning, I woke up to 100 text messages from my dad saying, I'm sorry they canceled your show. I go, that's not me. That's Jimmy Kimmel. But to be honest with you all, I don't know what's going on. And no one does. But I do know Jimmy Kimmel. And he's a decent, funny, and loving guy, and I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried that we won't keep saying what we want to say or that we'll be censored. But I'm going to cover the president's trip to the UK just like I normally would.
We talk about them Wizard of Oz shoes he had on.
I think that if the government can control the media, then we slip dangerously into fascism.
On November 10th. And when Donald Trump tries to send a message, when he tries to send a message like silencing Jimmy Kimmel, he is trying to send a message to everybody. Watch what you say.
So tonight, yeah, Jimmy Kimmel Live returning. It's more than a late night victory. It's proof that even in an environment of regulatory threats and...
It's proof that he ain't running shit. It's proof that people are going to take a stance on him or against him. Rightfully so. It's about time. I mean, because the only person he's scared of is that little fake Israelite guy. I was watching something the other day, and some African brothers was asking some young men who say that they were, you know, Jews. He started asking them what tribe they was from. Baby, when I tell you that was funny. What tribe you from? I'm gonna have to show y'all that too. Let's go.
Political intimidation. Voices still matter. Your voice still matters. Advocacy matters. Protests matter. Where you spend your money.
Yeah, they was.
Love this video. Support independent media and unlock exclusive.
Oh yeah, they gonna get exposed for what's his name, CHARLIEKIRK. Since that's what they took him out for. Huh, Tracy? That's what they gonna get exposed for. Okay, so which one y'all want first? Y'all want the fake Israelite kids who didn't know they tried, or y'all want these mashed potatoes? Let's go to the mashed potatoes. Everybody needs to start clowning this clown about these damn mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes. Absolutely.
Before we agree that a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, I'm gonna need to know
the house used to the mashed potatoes, those mashed potatoes.
I am Michelle.
They let the wrong person see it, didn't they?
And Craig here is my big brother. He's done a lot of everything.
Let me get.
But there's also, it's just.
Let me get to the mashed potatoes.
I've had a nickname for Donald that he gave him when Donald was still in like middle school. He called him the Great I Am, and yes, there was always a relentlessness to him. He never knew where the line was, so he was always crossing lines. He never knew how to treat people, and
he been like this since he was a kid.
Believe, thanks in large part to my grandfather, that he was the most important person in any room he was in or in the world. What I've noticed, though, is the relentlessness is getting more intense, and I honestly think that's a function of his desperation. We've seen that he's been making mention of his mortality, which is kind of shocking to me, because Donald is somebody who doesn't believe that anything can exist beyond him. So it's sort of like this unconscious terror is starting to break through. And I think that's a large part of this just insane intensity of the news cycle lately. The increasingly blatant and violent incursions into American life, against American state sovereignty, against immigrants, etc. And I think it's definitely a sign, one, that he's becoming aware in ways he never has been, that he's losing control of the narrative, and that he may not be as invulnerable as he's convinced himself he is. And his insight, I think he's getting a little bit of insight into the fact that he's kind of old.
What do you mean hide the page?
Maybe doesn't have the same sway with people that he wants.
Okay, all questions go on the super chat or super sticker, please.
I think it's one way.
Yeah,
in which
put that on the super chat or super sticker.
Is by, I mean, they're trying to pretend like there's going to be a third term and a fourth term, and it's just never going to be ending, right? Most presidents, all presidents since I've been alive, if they have a second term, that's the last one. They're lame duck, right? Yep. And
to have to be in a position. And look, I'm not complaining, because I feel like I am in a very
mashed potatoes.
The oldest son was Uncle Freddie, and then the other know though that he hates being called Donald, and it's these are all people that we need to pay attention to, because he's given access to the levers of
house secrets.
So yeah, I kind of resent all of it, but I also know though that he hates being called Donald, and it's if it's one thing I can do to get under his skin, so be it. And the truth of the matter is, I've always called him that. Like, what else am I going to call him? In my family,
they'll use some MS.
The oldest, Marianne, was Aunt Marianne. My dad,
what is
the oldest son, was Uncle Freddie. And then the other three, we only ever called them by their first names: Donald, Elizabeth, and Robert. So am I all of a sudden going to just start calling him Mr. Trump or something? That would be weird. And I refuse to use the title, because he's disgraced the presidency more than anybody in human history.
Shout out to Brian. You are #1 top fan today. Top fan. You are #1. Kimberly, #2. And Janet, #3. Rap Snacks, #4. And Doggy Dog, #5. Shout out to y'all. So far, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5. That's what's up. Let's go. I'm trying to get to it.
Everybody. And also, again, it's weird to call my uncle by a last name we share. And the other thing, too, when I was a kid, my name, like, nobody called me Mary. Everybody called me Trump. So it's kind of my name.
Yeah. It is 100% your name, and I'm sorry you share it with him. Yeah. So Donald Trump, whether he likes it or not, will not be in power forever. And we are hearing now, there's rumbles of like Eric Trump thinking about running, Junior. I know. I think one of them will. I would like you, if you.
Was it?
It does make it so much easier. Not that a few years now, like, I've been urging people.
I'm trying to get to the mashed potatoes.
Stay connected to your communities. Do think just.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, it is a marathon, and I mean that. There's a relentlessness to him that I think is intentional, that makes us want to just check out. But I do think if you can take time out for yourself when you want to, not because you're not because of anything Donald is doing, but because of your own. You want to take care of your own mental health. I think that's really important, and we need you to do it.
Because she talks about the mental in the family.
We need you to be strong and rested in order to be able to show up in the way that we need.
Yeah, and I think it's really important just to remember that there are a lot of us, and the resistance isn't going to fall apart if you take a night off. It's not. We're all here.
Like, was the relentlessness the thing, like as you knew him growing up, or has it gotten worse as he's gotten older, or any insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's exactly the same person that he's been, certainly since I knew him, certainly since he was a young kid. My dad had a nickname for Donald that he gave him when Donald was still in like middle school. He called him the Great I Am. And yes, there was always a relentlessness to him. He never knew where the line was. So he was always
he definitely don't know where the line is.
He never knew how to treat people. And he did believe, thanks in large part to my grandfather, that he was the most important person in any room he was in or in the world. What I've noticed, though, is the relentlessness is getting more intense, and I honestly think that's a function of his desperation. We've seen that he's been making mention of his mortality, which is kind of shocking to me, because Donald is somebody who doesn't believe that anything can exist beyond him. So it's sort of like this unconscious terror is starting to break through. I would wear him out
every time he would come around to a family function.
Of this just insane intensity of the news cycle lately, the increasingly blatant and violent incursions into American life, against American state sovereignty, against immigrants, etc. And I think it's definitely a sign, one, that he's becoming aware in ways he never has been, that he's losing control of the narrative, and that he may not be as invulnerable as he's convinced himself he is. And his insight, I think he's getting a little bit of insight into the fact that he's kind of old and maybe doesn't have the same sway with people that he once did.
Two things about that. One, I think it's one way in which we can make him a lame duck president is by, they're trying to pretend like there's going to be a third term and a fourth term, and it's just never going to be ending, right? Most presidents,
he really thinks that, yeah.
Presidents since I've been alive, if they have a second term, that's the last one, they're lame duck, right? Yep. And so I think this is one way that we can make him a lame duck president if he doesn't want to be, is just reminding him and everyone else that there's a human condition that we all experience eventually that he will succumb to as well, and he's just physically not. He's just, you can tell there's like he's just physically decomposing in front of our eyes. But there's also, it's just he is also just like whittling. He's whittling, you know. And I don't know if you have any insight, but certainly as an outsider, you can just like look at old clips.
Hey,
of Donald
Cynthia.
Trump, even 4 years ago, there's been a huge change in not only how he appears, but just his ability to speak coherently.
Yeah, it's alarming, and there are a couple of ways to look at it. One is anybody under the kinds of stress he's been under the last 10 years is going to suffer for it. It's debilitating to be under the stress. Even if, yes, he won in 2024, but that did not make his problems go away, quite frankly. Because his problems aren't about how much money he has or how much power he has. He's somebody who has severe undiagnosed and therefore untreated psychiatric disorders that have gone undiagnosed and untreated for decades. So those conditions, if you have any condition whether it's depression or pneumonia, and you don't treat it, they get worse. So all his psychological health, to the extent he ever had any, is continuing to deteriorate. And now, of course, it seems pretty obvious that there are some physical issues going on, and the degree to which they're contributing to what seem to be some neurological issues is unclear, because they're, of course, not telling us the truth about anything. But he is the same person, but in a much degraded state, and in a state that's degrading at an increasing clip.
So I was told that you do not like to refer to the president as Trump. You like to refer to him as Donald, and I guess it's because it's
that I can provide.
Not sure if you saw the news, but Fox News is claiming President Trump is declining in the polls. President Trump responded and says Fox.
And
Mary, you can complain. You can complain.
Picked up the bowl of mashed potatoes.
Oh, there you go.
Dumped it on Donald's head.
There you go.
At which point,
there you go.
Laughed at him.
This mashed potato head.
My grandmother comes out with a huge bowl of mashed potatoes, sits at his favorite thing to do. So Robert is hysterical.
Y'all ready?
It was 5 or 6.
Get the likes up. Here comes the mashed potatoes. This is, so every time he is humiliated, his mind goes back to this situation where there was some mashed potatoes on it. It's gonna rain some mashed potatoes on his head. Y'all ready? Double tap your screen. Hit the like button. Or hit the 3 dots at the top right corner. He ain't.
Favorite stories. It's probably the only good story that to come from my family. As I mentioned, Donald was one of 5. My dad was the oldest son, and my dad was about 8 years older than Donald. So my dad was about 13 or 14, and Donald was 5 or 6. And he was tormenting their little brother, Robert, who was a year and a half younger. Tormenting him. It was like his favorite thing to do. So Robert is hysterical, screaming, sobbing, won't shut up, and Donald, no matter what anybody said to him, wouldn't stop tormenting him. So my grandmother is trying to get dinner ready for her 5 children, her husband who's coming home, and her mother-in-law, and she can't get him to listen to her. So she's getting frustrated. Everybody's getting frustrated. My grandmother comes out with a huge bowl of mashed potatoes, sits it down on the table, goes back into the kitchen, and my dad, who was a gentle person and didn't want to do anything to hurt Donald, but also desperately wanted him to shut the fuck up, picked up the bowl of mashed potatoes and dumped it on Donald's head. At which point, everybody laughed at him.
Everybody laughed.
Donald finally shut up. The problem.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We just need mashed potatoes.
We just need mashed potatoes.
That's the solution.
This was always what I thought. Anybody going to a rally, put a thing of mashed potatoes or carry a box of mashed potato flakes with you or something.
Mashed potatoes would shut him up.
My Aunt Marianne, after my dad died in 1981, once or twice a year, Thanksgiving or Christmas, Marianne would tell the mashed potato story. The last time I was with them was in 2017. I was at the White House, unbelievably enough.
He's still pouting.
Because my Aunt Marianne and Elizabeth were celebrating their birthdays at the White House. So we're all invited. She tells the mashed potato story at dinner in the residential dining room. And Donald acted the same way he did as he had every single time she told that story over the last 4 decades. He sat there like this, and he pouted like a toddler. He can't handle it. He hates the mashed potato story so much.
He hates to be humiliated. He hates to be talked about. He hates to be laughed at. He pouts. Like I said, sit down, eat your mash, get it off your head, eat it. Thank you, Carlos. Call it mashed potatoes. When he trolling somewhere, say, get the mashed potatoes off your head, Donnie boy. Donnie boy. Clean the mashed potatoes off your head and shut up. Get your hands down or go to your room and take a nap. So all we need is mashed potatoes. The wrong person heard this. Y'all do know this, right? Mashed potatoes. Shut up, Mr. Mashed Potato Head. I know how to shut up. Get some mashed potatoes.
Or something.
Yeah.
Because my aunt
the mashed potato
after my dad died in 1981. Once or twice a year, Thanksgiving or Christmas, Marianne would tell the mashed potato story. The last time I was with them was in 2017.
Thank you,
I was in the White House, unbelievably enough.
Mashed potatoes with shit Donnie boy up.
Birthdays at the White House. So we're all invited. She tells the mashed potato story at dinner in the residential dining room. And Donald acted the same way he did as he had every single time she told that story over the last 4 decades. He sat there like this, and he pouted.
A grown-ass man in the White House.
Handle it. He hates the mashed potato story so much.
I'm going to get a Dollar
did it
Tree.
intentionally to annoy him. So...
See, he needed a real mama and said, "Now get it off your head and eat it." I ain't for the we asked you to shut up. We asked you to shut up, but you couldn't. We told you to leave Ronnie Boy or Howard or whatever his brother's name was, and you couldn't. So eat the damn mashed potatoes and shut up. Say one more thing, and I'm gonna go cook some mashed potatoes. Yeah, we gonna change your hair color today. Yeah, we finna get that red and orange and yellow shit up out your head, and we finna make it white, baby. We gonna start you down.
The good news is we have a weapon. The bad news is, I'm kind of not kidding here. I think that's kind of what kicked all of it off, because ever since then, Donald has been terrified of being humiliated, and he has made it one of his missions in life to humiliate other people.
Right. So he can humiliate, but can't nobody put some mashed potatoes upside their head. Huh? With some sprinkle of parsley? Absolutely. What about some bacon bits? Huh? Yes, indeed. Mix some with some sour cream and some cheese. Make it like it's a baked potato, like the twice baked potatoes. Mashed potatoes. Baby boom. So this is where it stems from. He hates to be humiliated, but he likes to humiliate. Oh, no, boo-boo. So you didn't learn that lesson when you was messing with your little brother. That's why you got named the mashed potato. So, baby, that would be the Christmas story.
Is, I'm kind of not kidding here. I think that's kind of what kicked all of it off, because ever since then, Donald has been terrified of being humiliated, and he has made it one of his missions in life to humiliate other people. So,
okay, we can do we can do some buttermilk ranch dressing on them mashed potatoes with some cheese. Oh, like some Gouda cheese, cheddar cheese, what's that one? Pepper jack cheese, oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. With some butter, absolutely. Jazz it up. Ain't nothing like a good old twice baked potato. And mush it together. And get him some pom-poms upside his head.
Well, it's actually really interesting that the thing that he's afraid of the most, he does I think he's constantly humiliating himself, but he's also created this life where he
put a bowl of mashed potatoes in front of him. That would definitely shut him up.
I don't know if you saw the picture of his hair from when he was gone for 9 days or however long that was, and he came back, and it was just a greasy, sloppy, it looked like hospital bedhead. But to me, it was like, But it looked like it was also to
I know he was stinky.
He surrounded himself with people that don't really care about him at all.
All you gotta do is say mashed potato, Donnie
If you
boy.
weren't such a cruel...
Baby, listen. I wish I should go up under his page and throw him in his, and just put some mashed potatoes. The mashed potato man. Yeah, you mashed potato head. Oh my God. That would shut him up. Absolutely. I bet you he would ban you from his page.
Despicable person, we could feel bad about him. I mean, that forehead.
That forehead? What?
And have some compassion, but he doesn't deserve compassion. But it is, I think, a testament to what a terrible life he's led. There is literally nobody on this planet who cares about him legitimately. Everything's transactional.
Is that including Melania?
Ooh. Ooh.
Yes, I saw Melania made an appearance to educate us about AI. And my first thought was, oh, wow, I guess she got a pay raise because she had to make another public appearance.
Everything is transactional.
Also, I mean,
he needs to invest. He needs to invest in some Idaho. Oh, that's what Bill Gates do. He the potato man, right? Put on the. You go down. Put on there. You gonna dump some mashed potatoes. I mean, yeah. Instead of it's gonna rain on your head, we gonna dump mashed potatoes on your head. Oh yeah, they kind of need to be somewhere in the title. Woo! Next time you try to take our freedom of speech, we are going to all come in front of the White House with mashed potatoes. We're gonna bring our best mashed potatoes for Donald Trump. Woo! Listen. Hold on, y'all. Let's get to before I go, Barron. Let's talk about Barron Trump. I wonder, is he trying to replace smart mouth Charlie Kirk? Because why else would he think he go from not talking? Now your mama need to learn how to speak, Jack Johnson. Yeah, your daddy need to learn who to breed with. Yeah, your daddy breeded with your mangy mud face ass mama. Yeah, get out of here. How about that? Yeah, how you like how I said mud face mama? Hey Vicky, they mad cause we done found out what Donald Trump weakness is. He can't handle them mashed potatoes upside his head. Barron tried to go at old Jasmine Crockett, baby. I don't know what he thought. He had a better chance with the mashed potatoes than going at her. What? Woo! Hold on. Let's get to Barron Trump. Hold on. Y'all get the likes up. I need 30 likes. Yeah, I need 30 likes. Yeah, I don't know what he thought. Maybe he think he gon' freedom of speech. I guess he was testing it, huh? Oh, okay. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you. Okay. And let's say disrespect instead of attack. How about that? I don't know what he thought. He tried it. I bet you he won't try it again. Y'all ready? How pearls of wisdom? He go from being quiet to trying his luck. I don't know why he thought that that would be a good idea. Is this when the mic drop? Nah, let's see this one. Okay, they used the word insult. Is this the one?
Continues. He says, quote, I'm surrendering through a sheriff, friend.
Woo, they think they can say whatever they want to. They think that they can be rude, disrespectful, racially profiling people with their mouth. Oh, okay. Okay, you gonna learn today. Y'all ready?
The building. Ivanka's smile evaporated. 14 seconds. That's all it took for the entire room to flip upside down. The cameras were rolling. The lights were blazing.
She made the room flip upside down. I'm trying to get there, y'all. Did she flip the room upside down? Y'all ready? No, I need 30 likes. I need 30 likes.
The tension was already thick when Ivanka Trump leaned forward with that smug little smile and lobbed what she thought was the knockout blow.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is... Oh, so Ivanka done went after her, too. Oh. So y'all have a problem with old sister girl. It's a family thing. Oh, okay. So she done had to lay y'all both down before. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul he keep. Here we go. They both done tried it before.
Moment in political drama we've seen this year.
Okay, y'all ready? I got it. I got the one I was looking for. Oh, I need to change the picture, the background, baby. Ooh, get the lights up. I'm telling y'all. Y'all better come on. BARRON. BARRON. Did Jasmine run you away? Did she rip you a new one while you tried to insult her? While you tried to be verbally disrespectful? Did she rip your butt a new one? Did she spank that ice? Let's go. He looked up. He looked like, it's another picture. He looked like that little boy in the Adams. Was it the Adams Family? Alert.
Barron Trump. Yes, the youngest Trump. Usually quiet. Usually out of the spotlight.
He don't look like that no more.
Fire and made a move so shocking, so reckless,
just like
that
his
it
daddy.
has the entire internet in meltdown. In a live exchange that nobody saw coming, Barron insulted Representative Jasmine Crockett with words so sharp, so disrespectful, that the audience gasped out loud. But here's the twist,
See, this is the problem when they don't know where we originate from. See, this is what happens when you try to be insulting to people and you don't know that you got black in you, little boy. Yeah, so see, this is the part of history that your daddy trying to erase. See, this is why they don't want folk to know a lot about black history. Yeah. They don't want y'all to know about that. So while y'all quick to make these racial comments about go back to Africa, where you think you came from? I don't care what religion you think you under, where you think you came from. I mean, we all come from Adam and Eve, boo-boo. Huh? See, you know, this is why it's wise for y'all to read and study thyself to show thyself approved. So while you sitting up there slanging dirt, it has a boomerang effect and it comes right back to you. There is no way you can get black, brown from white, but you can damn sure get white from black. Okay.
Jasmine didn't flinch. She didn't hesitate. Instead, she came back with a clapback so devastating, so surgical, that it didn't just silence Barron, it shut the entire room down.
Shut everybody down.
Insiders in the room say the tension was
Go eat some mashed potatoes.
Some say you could feel the temperature drop, like a courtroom in the middle of a scandal. Others swear they saw Trump allies scrambling to control the damage in real time, whispering, panicking, knowing this wasn't just a slip-up, it was a full-on disaster for the Trump camp. And here's where it...
Her words, that mouth of hers, pretty lipstick now. That's beautiful. Look like Mac. Woo, woo, woo. Look like she shut it down. Just cause you talk to your mama crazy don't mean you can talk to a sister that way. We will get you right on together. I got a treatment for your ass. She gonna have you just like your daddy, scared to be humiliated. You gonna learn some manners today, or she gonna check you every time. You better watch what come out of your mouth, cause words will return back to you, will cut you down like a tree. That's what I think she did to you, your daddy, your mama, sister, and brother.
Whispering, panicking, knowing this wasn't just a slip-up, it was a full-on disaster for the Trump camp.
Yeah, shut him down.
Here's where it gets even crazier.
Shut him down.
Back. It wasn't just words. It was receipts. It was facts. It was Jasmine Crockett at her most dangerous. The kind of moment that makes history books and leaves careers in ashes.
Dumb little boy.
But if you think that's the end of it, you have no idea how deep this story goes up to you understand why this clash between Barron Trump and Jasmine Crockett has the entire internet spinning. We've got to rewind the tape and look at both players. Because make no mistake, this wasn't just a random outburst. This was the collision of two very different worlds. And honestly, it feels like it was bound to happen sooner or later.
He should.
First, let's
he
talk
a
Barron.
child. Better
For
stay in
years,
child place.
Barron has been painted as the quiet Trump, the one who doesn't really speak in public, the one who doesn't get dragged into the circus that his father, Donald Trump, lives in 24/7. At 19, Barron is at that age where the world is watching him closely. Is he going to step into politics? Is he going to be another figurehead in the Trump dynasty? Or is he going to carve his own lane?
He trying to replace that
He stayed mostly silent. But this time, he broke that silence in the most explosive way possible. Sources say Barron's been
Yeah, he finna try to replace Charlie Kirk. Is that his name? That his daddy is dismissing. Acting like he ain't never been here. Yeah. Yeah. Setting him up to come in with a smart mouth. Yeah. I don't know if your skin is tough enough, little boy. Yeah.
shadowing his father more and more, showing up at rallies, listening in on debates, learning the Trump playbook. And anyone who knows the Trumps knows that playbook well. Attack hard, belittle your opponent, and never admit defeat. But the problem is that kind of strategy only works when your opponent isn't ready. Jasmine Crockett? She's been ready her entire life, which brings us to her. Representative Jasmine Crockett has made headlines repeatedly for being one of the most fearless, sharp-tongued lawmakers in the room. She's not afraid of confrontation, and she's definitely not afraid of the Trump machine. We've seen her go viral time and time again for shutting down hecklers, dismantling arguments on live TV, and calling out hypocrisy with receipts so sharp they sting. Her reputation? If you come for her, you better come correct, because she will drag you in front of the cameras and make you regret every word. So when barren, inexperienced, untested, but carrying the Trump name, decided to take a swing at Jasmine Crockett. It was like watching a rookie step into the ring with a heavyweight champion. People in the room knew it was about to get ugly. But here's the crazy part. Some insiders claim Barron's move wasn't spontaneous. They say he was coached. That certain Trump allies wanted him to make a mark, to prove he could throw punches like his father. Allegedly, this was his debut moment, the time he'd step out of Donald's shadow and show the world he could spar with the big names. If that's true, then what unfolded wasn't just a mistake, it was a catastrophic miscalculation, because Jasmine Crockett didn't just clap back, she obliterated him. But before we get to that fiery comeback, let's look at why Jasmine is such a dangerous opponent for the Trumps. Over the last year, she's gained momentum not just as a politician, but as a cultural figure. Her speeches go viral, her interviews get clipped, memmed, and shared across TikTok and Instagram. She knows how to deliver a soundbite that sticks, and in the world of modern politics, soundbites are weapons. The Trumps thrive on dominating media cycles, but Jasmine thrives on flipping them. Every time they try to smear her, she turns the attack into a viral win. So when Barron opened his mouth, he walked straight into a trap, whether he realized it or not. And this is why the tension in that room was so thick. On one side, you had Barron, nervous but puffed up, trying to channel his father's infamous style. On the other, Jasmine Crockett, calm, collected, probably already anticipating what was about to come. Witnesses say the moment Barron spoke, Jasmine smirked like she already knew how badly this was about to go for him. It's like fate set the stage for this exact moment. The rookie son of a political dynasty, stepping up to challenge a woman who has built her entire career on never backing down. And when the clash finally came, it wasn't just an insult. It was an explosion. Because Barron Trump thought he had the upper hand. But Jasmine Crockett's comeback? It didn't just shut him down, it burned through the entire Trump narrative like wildfire. The moment Barron Trump opened his mouth, the air in the room shifted. Witnesses swear you could feel it instantly, that icy pause when everyone realizes something outrageous is about to be said. Cameras were rolling, reporters were scribbling, and Barron, with that trademark Trump smirk, leaned into the microphone and dropped the insult that would set the internet on fire. Some people, he began, looking straight at Jasmine Crockett, should focus more on their wigs than on writing laws. Gasps, pure, unfiltered gasps ripped through the crowd. A few stunned laughs broke out, not because it was funny, but because it was so unexpected, so brazen, so out of pocket. Here was Barron Trump, the usually silent son, launching a direct personal jab at a sitting U.S. representative, and not just any representative, but Jasmine Crockett, known for her fiery comebacks and her refusal to take disrespect from anyone. In that split second, the cameras zoomed in on Jasmine's face. She didn't flinch. She didn't look rattled. In fact, according to people sitting near her, she smirked the kind of smirk that tells you, oh, you messed up badly. The room held its breath. Everyone knew Jasmine Crockett was about to respond. The only question was how. And then it happened. Jasmine leaned forward, microphone in hand, and her voice cut through the tension like a blade. Barron, sweetie, I understand you're new here, but let me teach you something real quick. Grown folks debate policy. Children talk about hair. Now, unless you've suddenly been elected to Congress while playing Fortnite, I suggest you sit down before you embarrass your entire family on live TV. The crowd erupted. Gasps turned into cheers. Cheers turned into thunderous applause. People were on their feet. Some were screaming, some covering their mouths, others recording with phones they could barely hold steady from the shock. But Jasmine wasn't done. She doubled down. And since you seem so concerned about wigs, let's talk about the wig your father's been wearing for decades, the one made of lies, fraud, and fake promises. Maybe you should help them fix that before you come for me.
What?
Nuclear detonation. The reaction was instantaneous. Reporters typed furiously. Clips hit Twitter before Jasmine even sat elected to Congress while playing Fortnite. I suggest you sit down before you embarrass your entire family on live TV. The crowd erupted. Gasps turned into cheers.
That ain't even
Cheers
the one I
turned into
heard.
thunderous applause. People were on their feet. Some were screaming, some covering their mouths, others recording with phones they could barely hold steady from the shock.
Oh, wow.
But Jasmine wasn't done. She doubled down. And since you seem so concerned about wigs, let's talk about the wig your father's been wearing for decades, the one made of lies, fraud, and fake promises. Maybe you should help him fix that before you come for me. Boom. Nuclear detonation. The reaction was instantaneous. Reporters typed furiously. Clips hit Twitter before Jasmine even sat down. Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag CROCKETT BARRON, hashtag Wiggate, and hashtag SitDownBarron were trending globally. TikToks of the moment spread like wildfire, each one edited with explosions, laughing emojis, or captions like she ended him. But the wildest part, the Trump camp didn't know how to respond. Insiders say Ivanka's face turned pale. Eric Trump looked like he wanted to sink into the floor. And Donald himself, who wasn't even in the room, was allegedly calling aides furiously, demanding to know why Barron wasn't protected from Jasmine's fury. And here's the first big twist. Multiple leaks suggest Barron wasn't supposed to speak at all. According to a senior GOP aide, Barron went off script. The plan was for him to simply stand beside his father, smile, and wave. But Barron, reportedly eager to prove himself, grabbed the mic and improvised. If that's true, then Barron didn't just embarrass himself, he may have detonated his father's carefully staged event, adding fuel to the fire. Insiders claim Jasmine already had dirt prepared. Some speculate she was tipped off that Barron might try something bold, and she walked in ready to swing. One anonymous source even told a blog she had a binder of receipts. If Barron had pushed further, she would have pulled out documents that would have scorched the whole family. The fallout was immediate. Liberal commentators praised Jasmine as fearless and surgical. Conservative pundits scrambled, some defending Barron as young and inexperienced, others slamming Jasmine for punching down on a kid. The divide only fueled the firestorm, giving the clip more oxygen and more reach. But here's where things get even crazier. In the chaos, an alleged leaked group chat screenshot surfaced. It appeared to show Barron texting a friend right after the moment. "Yo, I tried. They said make it spicy. Didn't think she'd kill me like that though. Whether it's real or doctored." The screenshot went viral, painting Barron as a pawn pushed into battle way too soon. And if that wasn't bad enough, Jasmine's clapback started inspiring memes instantly. People photoshopped Fortnite characters sitting in Congress with captions like,
I'm waiting for
"New
them
rep,
to say.
Barron Trump, District Fortnite." Others edited her quote about wigs onto billboards, mugs, and t-shirts. Within 24 hours, fans had already started selling "Sit Down Barron" merch. The damage was done. Barron's insult didn't just backfire, it became a cultural punchline. But here's the cliffhanger that changes everything. Whispers began circulating that Donald Trump himself was furious not just at Jasmine, but at Barron. Some insiders claim he scolded his son behind closed doors, saying, "You made us look weak." Others say he blamed advisors for letting Barron speak at all. And that leads us to the first twist. What started as a one-on-one verbal clash might actually be the opening shot in a new Trump family feud. Because if Barron was pushed into this moment against his will, who set him up? If the room was already in chaos after Jasmine Crockett's lethal clapback, the internet was a full-blown war zone. Within minutes, the clip of Barron's insult and Jasmine's comeback went viral across every platform. On Twitter, the hashtags #SitDownBarron, Hashtag Crockett clap back and hashtag Trump meltdown were trending globally.
Oh no, there was another one. Hold on, cause I didn't even know he went at a wig. Hold on, that ain't the one I heard. Hold on. Ooh, no. There must be another one.
Representative Jasmine Crockett, who had made her name in lights of a primetime studio, a debate that was supposed to be routine turned into a moment that would dominate headlines for weeks, as Barron Trump, still young but already stepping into the political spotlight, sat across from Representative Jasmine Crockett, who had made her name with her sharp logic, relentless truth-telling.
I don't like these pictures. These ain't real pictures. Hold on.
Came expecting fireworks, but what unfolded surpassed every expectation.
Oh man.
Because Barron, perhaps, feeling the weight of his last.
I don't like them when they not that AI stuff. I don't like that. Oh, this one is too. Okay, let's go.
You know what? Earlier, someone mentioned these hellholes, talking about the cities, right? Talking about cities being hellholes. I just want to point to Los Angeles. I'm sure that's one of the cities they were referring to when they said that. Los Angeles contributes almost $20 billion in taxes. You know what? That's more than all states in this country except for 4. So guess what? If we are going to push any ideologies, it seems like LA should have an outsized interest in the ideology, because it seems like they actually contribute more money.
The host, seated at the center of the table, introduced the guests. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, known for her sharp mind and fearless demeanor, and Barron Trump, the heir of the Trump political dynasty. Barron exuded the kind of confidence expected from someone with his last name, while Jasmine radiated calm strength, a woman prepared to handle anything thrown her way. At first, the conversation flowed with expected questions about family influence in government, with Jasmine defending transparency and trust in leadership. Barron took a more casual approach, cracking jokes and complimenting Jasmine on her energy, which the audience found amusing. However, the mood was quickly shifting as the conversation started to reveal underlying tension. Barron leaned forward slightly whenever Jasmine spoke, a subtle sign of provocation. Jasmine, aware of the undercurrents, narrowed her eyes in response, sensing that the conversation wasn't going to stay civil for long. The host, seemingly unaware, asked Barron about political qualification, and that's when the tone of the discussion abruptly changed. Barron, his smile lingering a little too long, leaned into the microphone and took a cold, calculated shot at Jasmine. He insulted her intelligence and qualifications, saying she wasn't fit to sit at the table, and even suggesting she might need to spend more time in a mental hospital. The insult landed like a bomb, and the entire room froze. The host, trying to intervene, could only stammer, but the damage had been done. Barron had expected Jasmine to shrink, to falter under the insult, but she didn't.
Ain't that something that old boy has said?
Calm, but her eyes burning with defiance. Jasmine didn't flinch. Instead, she leaned forward, a controlled smile playing on her lips, signaling that she was about to take control of the conversation.
Was she about to eat?
After a brief moment of silence, the room heavy with anticipation, Jasmine finally spoke. She asked Barron with a steady voice, "You think you can insult me, hide behind your last name, and make me look small? Here's a real question, Barron. Tell us, who's your mom, Ivanka or Melania?" The question, shocking and loaded, cut through the tension in the room like a knife. Barron's smirk faltered, and his posture shifted uncomfortably.
Forget who your pappy, who your mama, huh? Baby, them mama jokes hit different, don't they? Forget who your pappy, a clown. Who your mama?
Tell us, who's your mom, Ivanka or Melania? The question,
my God.
shocking and loaded, cut through the tension
She
in
ate
the room
that.
like a knife. Barron's smirk faltered, and his posture shifted uncomfortably. He hadn't prepared for this. The question wasn't just about family dynamics. It was about power, about who truly held influence in the Trump family.
Unfortunately, we are witnessing today yet another political...
Who your mama? Yeah, since your daddy sleep with everybody in the family. Yeah, you know, since he a pedo, who your mama? Who your real mama? Huh? You don't know? Well, until you find out, shut up. Stay in the child place, because I'm going to eat that ass up.
Stunt. Plain and simple. Republicans are here drawing a clear line in the sand. They will stop at nothing to advance Donald Trump's agenda and the dangerous blueprint
He thought he was
laid
safe,
out in
y'all.
Project 2025. Even if it means targeting the very groups that are working
needs
to
to
protect
be-
our communities and
he
support
stick to the video
our law
games.
enforcement
Yes,
agencies.
indeed.
Let's be clear, my colleagues
Ivanka.
across the aisle have shown little to no interest in working with Democrats on real solutions for the American people.
Jasmine had turned his cruel insult into a moment of searing exposure, challenging the very foundation of his identity and the power structure within his family. The audience was left in stunned silence, some whispering in disbelief, others staring at the screen, captivated. Barron tried to respond but found himself stumbling, unable to provide a clear answer. His usual confidence had been shattered, and he resorted to deflecting, accusing Jasmine of distracting the audience with personal attacks. But Jasmine didn't back down. She calmly addressed the issue of transparency, making it clear that
Little boy, you started that. Yeah, you started it. She just ended it. Yeah, stay in your place. Stay in your place and we won't have a problem. Stay in your place and we won't have a problem. Okay? Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Y'all think y'all can say anything y'all want to. Hold on. Well, since we talking about family, that's what it is.
And you'll see them cut loose afterwards. I've said this for many of the folks that Donald...
Let's hear these family secrets. Let's hear this. Let's see what...
In a way, they're pawns in the end. He needs them to gain power. And
baby, your family would tell, I mean, baby, these Trumps hold nothing. They don't care nothing about no family. Nothing. They tell everything. He said he didn't care shit about no Charlie. He was a pawn. Is that what Come on, Fred Trump. Tell it.
I've said this for many of the folks that Donald assembled throughout the years. In a way, they're pawns in the end. He needs them to gain power, and you'll see them cut loose afterwards.
Donald Trump has said that this visit is all about the royals. He's absolutely over the moon to be spending time with the King and the Queen. Where does that love of the British royal family come from?
Well, I think it's obvious. My grandmother was born and raised in Scotland, as far up north as you possibly can get. Mm-hmm. And I remember as a kid, in my grandparents' kitchen, there was a
Trump nephew.
Queen. So, as did Donald, as did I, have an affection for certainly Queen Elizabeth, but the entire royal family.
And do you think that that means he'll be able to keep himself out of political trouble on this trip?
It's totally up to him, obviously. There's a lot going on, as you well know.
He said he's a pawn.
Can happen out of the blue.
Hey, Justin.
I obviously know there are many protesters there as he came in, but hopefully it'll go smoothly. But obviously we have a great connection between the U.S. and Britain, so I hope it all goes well.
You obviously know him better than most people. You know him. I mean, I know that your relationship has been strained, but you know him and you've known him for a long time.
Fred, is this
protest that
is he the one that put the mashed potatoes on his head?
People say, you know, he gets really affected by negativity. Is that accurate?
Oh, sure. As I've said many times in interviews and in my book, and to people I know, Donald does not like being mocked. In fact, what we're going through, if you know, with
forgotten to mention his connection
governor
with
of California, has found a way to get under Donald's skin, and it's people say, "Oh, Gavin Newsom is mimicking." No, Gavin Newsom is mocking him. Donald does not like to be mocked, and he'll find his way to get at people who do that to him. A lot of it isn't good fun, but he will find a way to be annoyed, to say it very minimally. But yes, it can get under his skin.
And in terms of what the US, what Donald Trump and his team want from the UK on this trip, is it clear from the way it's been reported in America what the point of this visit is politically?
At the castle, and she was trying to get out. Oh Lord, he was being a freak.
Britain is just trying to keep Donald in its good graces. Keir Starmer, obviously, when he was at the White House earlier this year, did his level best to do what most people have found is the most positive way to handle Donald, and you're seeing it right now, and you'll see it for the next couple of days. Just really charm him, and
I'm not gonna charm him.
Accolades and the pomp and
so lie.
He thrives on that stuff. What is the end goal for either party? Certainly.
So stroke his ego by lying to him.
Their trade deals. But in the end, I'm sure there'll be some personal business thrown in there and country business. And again, I just hope it goes smoothly.
You mentioned that the president hates to be mocked. And there is also a feeling that he likes to be around people who are perceived as successful or doing well or at the top of their game.
Right.
That's very much not the perception of our Prime Minister right now.
Relax. Get comfortable. Tonight's story might keep you up a little longer than you planned.
Right.
That's very much not the perception of our Prime Minister right now.
Yeah, I need 15 likes. So I'm going to have to shut it down.
He will be seen as the one that certainly Starmer will have to look up to and try to match some sort of level of Donald's success. And, Donald, as you know, even if things aren't going well in our country, Donald cannot admit that. Things are going, we're the hottest country in the world, and that. Starmer's got his hands full with Donald. It's all I can say.
There is also a bit of a sort of theme, I suppose, with this visit, this American visit, when it comes to social media, freedom of speech, because one of the things that we keep hearing.
I see that Jimmy Kimmel got his job back. Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Okay, you arrest everybody for saying things on social media. You put people in prison for the things that they say. Right. Do you think he's likely to bring that up?
Yeah, it's an interesting hypocrisy, if you will. I know Nigel Farage was here recently and asked many of these questions.
I heard they had a list and they was going to shut it down. They was going to protest. Everybody did all that canceling. Yeah, I didn't watch Hulu like that. No way. Scooter did. Whoa, hold on. Yeah. Y'all crazy. The folks crazy. Y'all think I can say whatever y'all want to say, do whatever y'all want to do? Yeah, like they said, they can just lie and say they Christians and in the beginning, then get elected and say, I'm not Christian. He was super irritated. Yeah, look, I'm Christian. Yeah, Hold on, let me get over here. Yeah, you can feed that propaganda. You can feed them anything. They'll believe you. They won't do no research. Yeah, they, nope. We ain't going. It said breaking. Erica Kirk just followed Candace Owens on Instagram as Candace exposes the federal cover-up of CHARLIEKIRK assassination. Oh, yeah. You think she just... Why you just now following? Or you should have been listening to her all along, like why you all up in Donald Trump face like he really your friend, girl. I tried to warn you and tell you he gonna be trying to get in your BED in between the sheets. And he's gonna tell you that's what old boy wanted. Trump made a psychiatric speech last week stating he will not be returning back to United Kingdom. Oh, I ain't hear that, Barbara. Yeah. He laughing. You know, he don't have no regards of your husband, and he playing in your face. Yeah, and he gonna be trying to rub up next to you and pimp you out real soon. But hold on. Hold your mule. You better listen to her. You better listen to this girl. She was in deep. She was at some point in real deep. I don't know how she got in there that deep. All with Kanye and know about that MT, whatever that mess is when they try to get off into your head. But hold on. What was it? I can't remember. I got it pinned right here. What was that mess? MK Ultra. Hold on. Residential house in Manhattan. Tucker Carlson. Baby, I tell you one thing. At that memorial, Tucker went in. He started comparing him to... Hold on. Let me get that. Hold on. Let me get there. I'm trying to get to where them boys... They was asked about what tribe they were from. Oh, that was funny. And then I'll get into what Tucker said at the memorial, where he was trying to relate him to Christ. Why won't let me go? Hold on.
Is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American, not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having...
Okay, you said, hey, please be careful because a lot of this really is AI generated to try and take people's channels. You got to fast check everything. Yeah, but I've heard that... before, hold on. This was a turning point. Yeah.
Multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan. Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried.
I guess Orange Man Trump got scared because Jimmy Kimmel might get some dirt on Orange.
Connections to a foreign government.
Oh, he's still mad.
It's allowed to say that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that.
Yeah, but that AI generated, they are supposed to say that it's AI generated. They can lose their page if they don't say that it's AI generated.
Think about saying there's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the
Oh, here you go, y'all.
You don't know what tribe you're from?
No, sir.
But you're Jewish.
Yes, sir.
How do you not know? You've been raised
from Israel, yes, sir.
Okay, so which tribe?
I don't know that.
So how can you be Jewish and not know your tribe?
That's bullshit, man. Come on.
Okay, what? You see it right there? Look over there. Have you ever seen those names before? Judah, Benjamin, Levi?
Of course.
Okay, so which one belongs to you?
I don't know.
Because you're not a Jew.
That's
right. That's
right.
The proof is right there. You don't know what tribe you're from.
Absolutely not.
What tribe are you from? Hey, what tribe are you from?
I'm from the Levi tribe.
Levi?
Yeah.
What the hell is Levi?
You don't know Jewish history. That's why.
Are you from the tribe of the priests? Are you a Levite? Is that what you're saying? You don't fucking know. Let me tell you, the white man is a liar.
They don't even know where they from. They don't know where they from.
I asked them.
They don't know where they from.
Look, the murderer.
They don't know where they from because they don't realize that.
He doesn't know.
That this is from.
You don't know what tribe you're from.
The 1948 creation.
Israel. They came from the 12 tribes of Israeli, and that's not real Jews.
Yeah, they don't. They don't even know. They have no earthly.
You know what tribe you're from?
No, sir.
But you're Jewish.
Yes, sir.
I've been raised Jewish. You've been raised
from Israel, yes, sir.
Okay, so which tribe?
I don't know that.
They don't know. I don't know that. Wow. How do you not know? How do you not know where you from? Huh? How do you not know?
The reason that America wants a regime change in Iran is because Bibi Netanyahu is demanding it. And we also are completely done with the idea that, this decades-long idea that we're doing it to spread democracy because we believe in international liberalism. There was no imminent threat to the United States when Trump made this decision to do what Bibi wanted. And I want to be clear here. This was not Trump's decision. It was Bibi Netanyahu's decision. And that is the reason that he did it. And we're very aware that Israel is dictating our foreign policy, and we would now like that to stop.
Okay, but you wouldn't disagree, presumably, that Iran has been the main sponsor of terrorism in the Middle East through the Houthis, through Hezbollah, through Hamas. I mean, that's widely accepted and recognized. They've done it.
Things widely accepted. No, that's just kind of...
Really?
Israel has been a terrorist state. Okay, Israel right now is imparting a genocide and a Holocaust on the Gazan people. So I'm really over this idea like somehow Israel has the moral high ground and we have to get behind them.
I didn't say that.
We've got to go after the bad guys. So it's rich to me that people are concerned about Iran having nukes. When I'm concerned about Israel, who won't even admit that they have nukes, having nukes, while at the same time they are executing a genocide and a Holocaust in Gaza that the world is watching. So who's the bigger terrorist is the question.
But when the leader of Iran says death to America, why doesn't that concern you?
Why are they chanting death to America? Maybe it has something to do with just like killing 1 million Iraqi civilians, okay, because Bibi Netanyahu on a congressional stage and said there are weapons of mass destruction. We took that to the bank and there actually were no weapons.
They owe that man. They are in debt to him, and so they have to do what they have to do to satisfy him. It's just the bottom line. Hold on. We stand. Do they know why they worship it? Yeah, why are all these people worshiping Charlie? Why are they worshiping him? Why? Why? What was it about him?
Tucker Carlson just gave a speech at CHARLIEKIRK's memorial telling his favorite story about Jesus Christ and comparing it to Charlie. Listen to this.
Actually reminds me of my favorite story ever.
Y'all listen.
So it's about 2,000 years ago in Jerusalem, and Jesus shows up and he starts talking about the people in power, and he starts doing the worst thing that you can do, which is telling the truth about people, and they hate it. And they just go bonkers. They hate it. And they become obsessed with making him stop. This guy's got to stop talking. We've got to shut this guy up. And I can just sort of picture the scene in a lamplit room with a bunch of guys sitting around eating hummus, thinking about what do we do about this guy telling the truth about us? We must make him stop talking. And there's always one guy with the bright idea, and I can just hear him say, I've got an idea, why don't we just kill him? That'll shut him up. That'll fix the problem.
He's at this man's memorial.
It doesn't work that way.
Tucker's speech continued with the message that if you try to snuff out the light, it will only grow bigger. But many people feel like Tucker was trying to tell you who was behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. Do you think so? As always, I want to hear.
What y'all think?
Did you see Tucker Carlson coming onto the Piers Morgan show and saying that Israel had foreknowledge of 9/11?
It's big, that, isn't it?
It's huge, and this is because he has got this new series coming out, premiering tomorrow, 9/11, called The 9/11 Files. And watching the trailers, it opens saying the official story of 9/11 is a complete lie. This is coming from Tucker Carlson.
I think there's a consensus that it's a lie.
Yeah.
Even on Building 7, the Pentagon. No way an airliner went through that little hole, leave any debris, no bodies, no chairs, no fuselage, and so on. Well, there's far too many things about 9/11 that are quite obviously lies.
Yes, exactly. And so Tucker explains in the interview that his own colleagues, they were receiving FBI files and they were broadcasting, now obviously all pulled back. But Netanyahu, he reminds Piers Morgan that Netanyahu on camera right after it says, it was a good thing. It brings the U.S. into a conflict that we've been involved in on an existential level for decades. Goodness gracious. So, that's the 9/11s.
I think that it's not that these allegations are a surprise. They've been around for a long time. The surprise is that someone with the global reach of Tucker Carlson, the preeminent broadcaster in the whole world, the biggest broadcaster in the whole world, is saying these things now.
Yeah,
this takes it through the dam. This takes it over the hurdles. This takes it way down the final furlong. Exactly. I think that we will one day know what happened on 9/11.
Yeah, they saying, of course, they've been saying it that.
Charlie, I love you.
Arizona.
Yeah, that it was planned. Okay, yeah, I gotta get ready to go.
I've never taken money from the Israel lobby, have you?
Taken money from the Israel.
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
Is AIPAC a foreign lobby?
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention
you do more
of being
for them than you do for Texas.
I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, they're folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known what people work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay. When was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want
he didn't ask for history.
No,
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government. And it's not.
No,
What is for the United States?
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied. Okay. I've never taken money from the Israel lobby, have you?
Did he get caught up in a lie, y'all?
Money from the Israel PAC.
Did he get caught?
PAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer.
Make a lot of money for you, so they donate.
So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship and relationship.
They all selling us out, y'all. Ted Cruz, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You keep getting caught, my man. You keep getting caught. So that's why you stood up for Jimmy Kimmel. Let's be clear. We know why you stood up for Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, let's be clear. You kept getting caught. Lying. Yeah. Okay, y'all, we finna go on here.
The bull, ladies and gentlemen. America is gonna have to cut the bull. Somehow or another, they can't find.
It's time to cut the bull, ladies and gentlemen. America.
Cut the bull, ladies and gentlemen. America is gonna have to cut the bull.
Yeah.
Somehow or another, they can't find the Epstein list, and they know that Trump is right on it. But I'm gonna pause right here because I want to know what white evangelical pastors are gonna preach this morning against a president who is accused of sleeping with 3 14-year-olds. They will not hold him accountable, but they claim that that's God's man. Y'all better cut the bull. Iran, and then y'all gonna say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves a peace prize like I need a hole in my head. You better cut
like he needs some mushroom, mushroom, mashed potatoes on Chopper Hill.
Congress.
Oh, yeah, you need to put the mashed potatoes,
ladies and gentlemen,
and cut the bull.
America is gonna have to cut the bull.
Let's go.
Somehow or another, they can't find the Epstein list, and they know that Trump is right on it. But I'm gonna pause right here because I want to know what white evangelical pastors are gonna preach this morning against a president who is accused of sleeping with 3 14-year-olds. They will not hold him accountable, but they claim that that's God's man. Y'all better cut the bull. He's gonna bomb Iran, and then y'all gonna say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves a peace prize like I need a hole in my head. You better cut the bull. It's 1 year since the fake assassination attempt.
The what?
Congress nor Senate.
The what? The fake assassination attempt.
You better cut.
That ear grew back.
Y'all better cut the bull. He's gonna bomb Iran, and then y'all gonna say he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves a peace prize. I need a hole in my head. You better cut the bull. It's 1 year since the fake assassination attempt. Congress nor Senate has launched one investigation yet. You better cut the bull. Get ready to hire ICE agents at $100,000 a year with a $40,000 signing bonus, but you won't pay teachers what they are worth. You
better cut the bull.
Cut the bull, ladies and gentlemen. America is gonna have to cut.
Barron thought he was gonna stand up to Jasmine Crockett. She ate his ass for lunch. You better cut the bull. She ate that ass up, baby. You better cut the bull. Huh?
Now here's the real truth about Charlie Kirk. See, I wanted to wait a while until the facts came out so I could have a better picture of the story and not just rush to assumptions. And your boy Chuck was taken out of here because he went against the mob. And I'm talking about this mob right here. You see, over the span of Charlie's career, he's been a far-right Christian Zionist. But those beliefs started fracturing and breaking down over time, as you can see here.
We've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on
Ukraine, on the border, so like maybe we should also ask a question: is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything.
Oh no, Charlie, you can't do that. You can't go against the same machine that was using you to spread propaganda for their narratives. Fuck no. I mean, you do know what happened to the last white boy that did that, right? And now I'm gonna tell you how I know that they're responsible for this. Within 72 hours of his passing, they blocked the release of the Epstein files. They passed an amendment that blocks the Pentagon from boycotting them people. Proposed a bill that Marco Rubio can revoke passports of people who are critical of those people. They approved and sent $650 million for missiles to those people. And now Marco Rubio is over there kissing hands and shaking babies and circle jerks. Oh yeah, it gets deep. That's right. I got more. This tweet went viral 48 hours before they blew Charlie's candle out. But wait a minute.